Joy from Joy Quilts. Today I'm working on a kitty cat quilt. This was ordered by a 5-year-old, so this is kind of what you get when you quilt for a 5-year-old. I'm just going to start it up. So I just pulled up the bobbin thread. This is a butterflies and loops pattern. It's an overall pattern. I'm only using 4 repeats to do the entire quilt. It's about 60 some inches square. Thread I'm using is Orifil 3817. It's becoming one of my favorites. It's a variegated. It has lots of primary colors in it, so it shows up really nicely on a great number of fabrics. It's 50 weight, 100% cotton. Variegated Orifil thread. I'm using a 90 SUK ballpoint needle. Jersey stretch is my favorite. This one you'll see is going a little bit slowly because it does have the disadvantage of being kind of a jerky pattern a little bit. It's not so smooth. It's going to go back and forth and do a lot of little things. It loops quickly, but then when it gets to the butterfly parts, it kind of goes a little bit more slowly. And it has a lot of kind of switchbacks. Backing is pieced on this one too, because the particular fabric that she wanted I didn't have enough to do without piecing it, so we've stuck one extra block of the cats on the back and sashed in between the other butterfly and flower blocks that she wanted. Picking up speed a little bit on the loops. It's also got a piano key border made up with all the coordinate fabrics that are in the quilt as well. And a batik red sashing to kind of tied it all together. This is an edge-to-edge butterfly design that all I did was switch left to right so that it would balance from one side to the other, because I do like to do that. I don't like it to look heavier on one side than the other. And that way too, if it's a little bit off on one side as opposed to the other, then as you trim it down, it'll balance out really nicely. Probably the youngest person I've ever quilted for. Almost started the border on this one. It's about 13.5 inches square, so it goes fairly quickly, but there's only 4 pattern repeats across and 4 pattern repeats up and down, so it quilts up really quickly. See those 2 BSR red lights flashing in the bottom? If I had the needlepoint laser, there would be another light which would reflect on exactly where the needle is going, which I didn't get because I'd used mostly the Q-matic. If you're using the Pentagraph kit or you're doing free motion, it's really handy because then you can see exactly where your needle point is going. For me, it doesn't really matter because it knows where it's going. So that's it for butterflies and piano keys and Orifil 3817 cotton thread. Joy Quilts, Instagram, Facebook, joyquilts.com.